Teachers here at ASPIRA have been in a contract negotiations for, I believe it's over 9 months now, and administration has really dug in their feet. Teachers are just asking for a fair contract. ASPIRA spends far more money on administration than other charter schools, a higher percentage of their budget, and we all know that charter schools spend even higher percentage of their budgets than public schools on administration. So this is a serious issue. So teachers here are standing up for accountability for their administration. They want a fair contract, and they want to, have the power to address some of the issues they've had. They've had serious problems with turnover of the administration. They've got in one of the schools, they have, at least one of the schools, they have 20% of the classes right now being taught by substitutes because they haven't hired the teachers. So teachers want a voice to make their schools run really well. They've got excellent schools here. They're really proud of their schools, and they want a contract that helps defend them.
We say fight back! We say fight back! We say fight back!
The business model of education is inhumane. Like, schools are the place where, like, local democracy happens. Parents get to know each other. They find out about issues happening in their community. So it's essential that teachers and parents, the people who know students, have a say in their education, have a say in how their schools are run. So charter schools, every charter school should have a union. The teachers should have a voice. They shouldn't get fired for speaking up for their students. I've known many people that have spoken up in their charter schools when they didn't have a union, they got fired. And parents should have a voice. We should have local school councils in charter schools. There's a bill in the Illinois House, I think it is. It hasn't gotten out of committee, but it's been reintroduced for the 3rd time. That would have charter schools, would have local school councils in charter schools, and that would be a big step in the right direction. Going into more privatization of our school system is, let's face it, it's weakening the voice of parents in their schools, it's weakening the voice of teachers, and who besides teachers is speaking up for schools? If teacher unions weren't out there demanding more funding and progressive funding, that the wealthier people pay more, so there's more funding for schools, who would be? Nobody would be. So Betsy DeVoss, as Secretary of Education, is really dangerous. She's been pushing for-profit charter schools, which are committing some of the worst practices in education. Vouchers, which will be the end of the public school system, if they went out nationally. Having unions in charter schools is more important than ever, because unions are the only accountability that charter schools have. Charters like to say they're more accountable than public schools. That's just because they can be closed, right? It's like open them or close them. That's not a good form of accountability. That's like saying I have no control over my employees. I can just fire them if they do really terrible things and let them run riot in the meantime. Schools need to be accountable. Their budgets need to be accountable to the public, to government, to the teachers there, to the families that attend the school. So. We're even seeing in Chicago, the proliferation of charter schools is causing budget cuts. It's causing low student enrollment in our schools. In the majority of the schools that we represent 32 of the 125 charter schools in Chicago. We have had enrollment drop, budget cuts, and layoffs in the majority of our schools. So if they continue to proliferate charters, the continual proliferation of charters, more schools means fewer dollars per school. So charter proliferation is hurting charter schools now. It has to stop. So if the teachers here are forced to strike because administration won't give them a fair contract, it will be the first strike at a charter school in the country, and hopefully that will give strength and energy so that new units will come at charter schools and form unions, and we will help them form unions, and hopefully this will be teachers taking back their classrooms from the education privatizers. And charter schools with unions, with local school councils, will look almost no different from regular schools, and like I said, the parents and the students will have a real say in their schools, and there'll be better places for it.
I'm a social studies teacher here at Antonia Pantoja High School. I'm also the president of our council, a council of educators. And we are currently negotiating our contract with ASPIRA. We have roughly 100 members. That's including teachers and mentors, advisors, and counselors. We have 4 buildings. We have ASPIRA Early College, we have ASPIRA Antonia Pantoja High School, and we have ASPIRA Business and Finance, and those are the high schools. And then we also have ASPIRA Middle School, ASPIRA Hagen Middle School. And we service predominantly a Hispanic community. So ASPIRA was actually founded in New York by Antonia Pantoja, and the reason that she founded ASPIRA was to service specifically the Hispanic community. And right now in our schools, we service predominantly Hispanic students. And one of the things that we want people to know is that even though we are here for the Hispanic community, one of the things that we're not providing for our students is the proper ELL support. A lot of the teachers are not bilingual or ESL endorsed, even though the majority of our population speaks Spanish in one way or the other. We started negotiating the contract in May, and so far ASPIRA has been very compromising in some of our requests. The only thing that we got stuck on was the financial aspect. Just like any other teacher, we wanted to, or any other union, we wanted ASPIRA's finances, which we did request. Now, according to ASPIRA, they have a surplus this year, so we requested a raise. They said they don't have any money, and that led us to wonder, well, where is the money going? Especially when in the classroom we see that the money isn't getting in there. So one of our biggest complaints is the cleanliness and the maintenance of our buildings. We have bathrooms, stalls that have been out of commission since last year. Many of the teachers here at Antonia Pantoja have to sweep and clean their own classroom, because if they don't, it could go days without anyone cleaning. And we don't want our students to think that we don't care about them. And if you have a dirty classroom, that sets up the idea that they don't matter. One of the things that ASPIRA brought up to us during negotiation was that we are having a hard time recruiting students and parents. And I brought up that how can we recruit students and parents if the week that we're having orientation and registration, our classrooms are dirty, bathroom stalls are out of order, there's no toilet paper in the bathroom stalls, there's no hand soap, there's no paper to dry your hands. How can we possibly recruit students to come to a school when we can't even provide basic clean classrooms?
So this fight is the most important fight happening in our union right now. I think nationwide people are looking at this. If an administration here forces you guys to go on strike, it's going to be the first strike in the charter school in the country, right? That's going to be huge, right? That's the basis of powers. They want to ignore our union, right? But you guys are showing them that we're going to stand up and make the ultimate sacrifice to defend our schools.
The ballot boxes are actually coming in as we speak. There's one of our building reps who just brought in one of the boxes. So all the building reps are bringing their boxes here to Antonia Pantoja, and we're setting up in the classroom. We have an administrator and a police officer in the room so that we could, so that there's no question as to the credibility of our vote. So about 4:30, all the building reps should be in the classroom, and they will be counting the votes.
This is to introduce the president of the ACE Council at ASPIRA, Marines Martinez. Give her a round of applause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming out and supporting your teachers. Remember that all we're trying to do is make sure that our students get the resources that they deserve and the highly skilled, highly qualified teachers that they deserve. Remember that we are here because we want to make sure that because we want to hold ASPIRA accountable. And it is our job to make sure that they are providing those resources to our students. And as you guys know, we did have our vote today. And of the 93 members who voted today, 92 voted yes. That's a 99%. Wow.